hit the button. Kick us off this morning, Michael.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning coffee review today. Today, we're going to be talking about document health. It's going to be a slim, I would say, session today. So we are going to kick it off and probably do a lot of banter, talk back and forth about XCon, then get into document health, and also ask questions from the community as we move forward. And it is a lovely Jason. Well, wait, hold on. I'm going to keep this in my back pocket because I don't know what Jason wants to talk about. But it is 78 degrees here in Arizona. It was raining this morning. So it was a refreshing day to walk outside when I let my pup out versus it feeling like a heat wave at 6:30 in the morning. How about you, Jason? How's the weather out in your neck of the woods?
66 and sunny. Windows are open and it's just lovely. So it's that final a couple of weeks of the year where it's just about perfect up here, and we don't always get to say that. So
a couple weeks
of perfect.
Take that as you may.
But yeah, we're going to talk about document health. Get into some comparisons with some things. We were kind of looking for a big giant gross data set that didn't work right, and still kind of digging for one. So we might have to pull something out, make something work as far as how we're dealing with a PDF file that has, it's not showing up right, or it's slow to load, or it's taking forever to open because the file is so large. So there are some ways to fix that inside of Revu that don't involve using that reduced file size trick. So we'll get into a bunch of things. But like Michael said, it'll be a little light. So bring your questions. Let's play around with the software. Let's talk about super, mega, ultra, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, let's actually deviate today from the topic as we go through and peel back the layers of document health, I guess you would say. And I kind of refer back to this when I was going through and training some municipalities who do code plan reviews, basically going back and seeing some sets that they received that had some health issues because they can't control the type of documents they're receiving, right? That are just submittals to the city. And how can you go through and maybe modify some of those larger PDF sets in terms of their ability to load? Some folks love using the thumbnails when they're reviewing sets, which is great, but that also tends to having a rendering issue as well. But that's a good red flag immediately when you're going through to see if a large file is going to have some issues. Is open up that thumbnails panel. And if you see those things spinning, we should start doing or talking about what we can do to mitigate the lag between them. And there's some options within Revu natively. There's some rendering things. There's also a laptop thing or a desktop that could be the issue, but how can we go about with what hardware we have and fixing it with the solution that we are offered with, right?
That's a good way to put it. So we'll dive in and look at a few things and go from there. So I found a file. It's 6 megs. That'll be good enough for this. And I'm going to do a save as real quick, and then I'll start sharing my screen. And we'll see what we get. Alrighty, So you've seen this one before. It's the MEP example project that I like playing with sometimes. So let's start with a couple things. If we have a file that's slow, now there's a few things that can cause this, as Michael said, besides the PDF itself. What's in the software that's controlling this? And it also depends on what version of Revu you're dealing with. If you're on 18, there's still a lot of people out there on 18.
There's still a lot of people below 18.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people below 18. It's going to be slow. Simple fact. So from 17 to 18 is when the UI changed. They changed the interface to this new one instead of having the blue circles. So if you have the little blue semicircles, you're in 17 or below. And when they switched to 18, it was noticeably slow. They told you it was slow. If I could minimize my zoom controls here, I could hide floating man. There we go. Now I can see, if we go to help and learn what's new, we should pull up the web browser. and walk us through all the release notes. So 20.2.70 is the most recent one. And you can always go up to review and about to see if you are in the most recent one.
I still think even 19 was slow, to be honest.
Right.
I haven't seen any latency issues with 20, but I think latency issues still followed suit through 19.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, there was a bunch of issues with 18 and 19. So one of the biggest things that came with the 18 to 19 switch was making it faster, right? So let's see. You can just look at all the things that are being fixed here as I scroll fast. So 18.6 was the last version from July 2019. And then when we get to 19.0, all new hardware accelerated rendering issue, and significant improvements to speed and performance. So that was the big thing, like scale improvements, big deal. But that speed thing was big for 19. Like I said, there's still a lot of
even
folks
if you scroll
below.
back down, it says like panning right here.
Yeah.
And to move quicker. Up, right there.
Yeah. And like, come on now. Ooh, pan and zoom quicker. Like that's not going to make me run out and upgrade my software, right? But still, it was noticeable on any computer, right?
I mean, those people that are having that issue right now make me run and go and do that because it's like the same thing of going through and render or doing something in Revit where you have the spinning wheel of death every 5 seconds because our computer hardware isn't up to snuff to handle a large file.
So in the chat, is anybody using 18 or below still on here, or is everybody upgraded to 20.2.70? I'm curious. Put in the chat or in the YouTube comments. I'm curious to see what's going on. Because yeah, we take a lot of calls. People still on 9, 10, 11, 14. And some of these folks have maintenance too. They've got maintenance and they're still on the old versions. So you're just taking that money and throwing it away. There's no really reason to have the maintenance if you're not utilizing the latest version.
I don't have a poll thing here. Do you have a poll thing on yours? Maybe it's because DJ CJ took host. Sorry.
We do have a poll. And
I was wondering if that had like the version in it. I think it's just for XCon.
Yeah, that's for XCon 2021.
We'll unwrap that bow.
Yeah. Oh, DJ CJ can give us a new question. Yeah, if you can update the poll for 2022, maybe we'll launch that later. And then ask laptop or desktop. Maybe we'll just save that for next week when we have time to plan. All right. Us plan? No. All right, but you can see all the improvements. So there's been a number of things. If you're not on 20.2.70, you're probably experiencing some slowness issues. And I'll get out of here.
And I think we should take note as you scrolled through in Foreverland that, folks that I've talked to that are just getting to review ask this question a lot, but I find a couple of times out of the realm of people asking questions around review, why we're in 2022, why isn't there a new one? So they're really big on this item of not waiting each year to give you what you need and updates to be pushed out, right? Like releasing Revit 20. Sorry, I shouldn't have said a specific name of the software, but releasing a solution every year, annually year locked. So you're not getting the latest and greatest of what the dev team has put together and waiting till the new year to get what the dev team has put together. So if they've done something on the development side and you need it, they push it out, right? So they are no longer annually year locked. So like when review 21 comes out, it's going to be, I feel like that one's going to be here for a while with updates. I think it may almost be, I'm going to throw a number out there, maybe a 4-year, 5-year version.
Whoa. It's possible. We'll have to see. And if you want the full teaser on Review 21, check out the LinkedIn Morning Coffee Review group. So DJ CJ created us a little home on LinkedIn. And Michael posted a video that he found that has lots of little teasers and stuff.
It is actually from Bluebeam.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
And it shows off cloud. It shows off your new management portal. And it shows off Review 21 a little. They call it the desktop, which it says in there. So we can tell you it is the desktop now. So it'll be the desktop with 3 different subscriptions. And then you'll have Bluebeam Cloud, web-based. They also show the web-based app. And then they also show off your management portal, which is like enterprise, but better. Yeah. And you can easily subscribe new licenses, which was pretty cool that I saw. I don't know how that's going to work on our end, but that's what we'll find out when they finally release it. So they said that people that already have licenses can subscribe to Review 21. So try and figure that out. Yeah.
I think they're still waiting for Steven Spielberg to finish the video for Super Mega Ultra. That's why they haven't come out with that video yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
In the release, right?
Yeah.
They need a cameo.
They're holding back. We'll see it at XCon. It'll be great. All right.
We will see it at XCon because they changed their new title of test out new software.
What?
Yeah.
Where?
I saw something released the other day and it says XCon test out new software during their thing. So I'm assuming never mind. I'm not going to assume. We'll just wait, but I'm not going to guess. I don't think it was here because it was on a LinkedIn post.
Oh,
yeah. And it was like, check out, test your new software.
So we went through this a little bit, 2 weeks ago, last week, whatever, talking about all these great classes. This one's going to be extremely amazing. So you definitely don't miss this one. But they changed the agenda a little bit and they snuck in some stuff like this. So if you want to be the first one to get your hands on this, to see what it can do, to really level up your skills and be ready for the new stuff, especially how it does this, XCon's going to be huge, right? So repeat classes so you don't have to miss hours.
Ed, we found some kind of segment of how often they released it. And I think that was just by looking at the dates of support of release patch fixes. And I forget the cadence they had, but there is a cadence. So if you look at the patch releases, there's a cadence of every time there's a release of a point addition. So if you just look at those, you'll find some kind of cadence from that update support item.
That's right. So lots of good stuff here. I'm excited. And yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Monday. So it's technically a 2-day thing, but there's a lot of stuff going on Monday too. So sort of the pre-conference, if you want to go get essentials training, if you haven't gone through an all-day essentials training, it's going to be pretty awesome. It's pretty cheap. It's like $200, which is cheaper than we do it, but then you don't get us. No. But there's stuff going on here. There's a global Bluebeam user group conference or meeting this afternoon or this evening with, happy hour and libations.
Well, happy hour is on Tuesday now.
Yeah. Happy hour's always been on Tuesday. And then there's a bigger happy hour bash thing at the end. So
bash.
I mean, this is networking opportunities. There's no non-work activities happening here at all.
Are we going to wear some cool shirts during these times? I'm thinking like a Hawaiian shirt or something.
I still got my Hawaiian shirt that I've been meaning for an excuse to bust out. So you say the word and we'll make it a thing.
Because then we could definitely be spotted easily.
It's true. We'll have to strategize offline here. But yeah, we hope to see you there. It's going to be awesome. I know a few of you are going to be there already, and I'm looking forward to high fives and cheersing. So
high fives, cheers, and our amazing marketing team. and AKA DJ CJ has come up with some cool swag ideas. So, Jason and myself love handing out swag. So find us, come to one of our classes. We're going to be doing 2. We're having one, and then ATG's having I forget what it's called, but
yeah, we'll talk more about that to next week when we know what all we're going to do, because we get our special workshop, because we are platinum sponsors, everybody. Whoa. Platinum sponsors. I don't know if you saw that. Let me go back to the little website here.
Register now.
Danny, the video is on if you go to LinkedIn, find the morning coffee review page.
Look at that fresh new logo.
Oh yeah, new logo. Look at that.
Yeah, LinkedIn, we have a DJ CJ created us a MCR page. So all the credit goes to her, as always. So most things that you see front facing that aren't Jason, myself, are all from DJ CJ. She puts in a ton of work, and we greatly appreciate her.
And we're dragging her to XCon with us too.
Yep.
So there you go.
You have to figure out who she is, because we're going to have a couple people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that's not the most compelling reason I can present, is that our own DJ CJ is going to be there, and which would be good, because Michael and I probably need to be kept in line. And we're looking forward to, fireballs. I mean, friendship with our coworker.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Let's get back on track if we can. Do we want to? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's get back on track. And as always, for those folks that are maybe new listening to this MCR, be aware you can ask any questions. So if you have any workflow related issues, please ask us. Also on YouTube land, if you're watching from YouTube, put in the chat. DJ CJ is monitoring it from over there. So please ask us any questions. Our topics are just filler time. So us having banter is also filler time. This was really all built for any questions you all have and building a community around that. But we can go and talk about document management and health. So typically, if you receive a large set, something like this, or in the 300 range is what I had the issue with a submittal reviews for the city, and doing training with them, what they had to go through and do, and what I always recommend is, whenever I receive a document and I hit that thumbnails panel and it's load, right? His came up quick, but we can see as they start to, if he can try and beat it, they take a little bit. The ones that the ones that I experienced were so slow and took forever. If you ever have or encounter those, majority of the times where I start always is I go to documents, information, and properties. So Control D for the hotkey for this one. And when you hit this, you can then go and see who created it. So what is the PDF producer? And I believe that is an old one. The new one is, I don't know what the new one is. I'll look it up in a second, but that is the old PDF producer, or maybe it is the new one. Maybe I confused myself. But when you go and recreate it, well, we can just recreate it and show them that workflow of recreating it as a Bluebeam written PDF. Now, Bluebeam Writer is part of the ISO standard. Maybe some other writers aren't, though, meaning that their viewports are encoded as GIFs and GIFs, creating a larger file size, more rendering, computing speed needed from Bluebeam Review to go through and pick click points, right? Interpreting that vector enriched data for us to use. Now, that being said, what is the ISO standard? It's the International Standard Organization for setting standards for most things that we do nowadays, right? So back in around 2000, I would say mid 2000, like 8-ish, 9-ish, 10-ish, somewhere around there. Adobe, which is the company, gave their setting standard to ISO. ISO used that as their basis to creating a international standard for coding PDFs so that all PDF viewers, well, most, I wouldn't say all, that's a very strong word. Most PDF viewers follow that standard so that they can still work simultaneously, right? I send it to, I'm not going to say Jason, I was going to use as an example, but he would never use Acrobat. But I send it to, Joe over there who's only using Acrobat. He could still open my PDF, see all of my markups, because that's always a question, right? Can someone else see what I'm doing from Revu in their software? Yes, as long as that software follows the ISO standard. And if it didn't follow it anyways, which you were set in a support case at one point, right, Artley, like that, where we couldn't open it up in Revu. I know, what was it, Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge allows you to open up PDFs and rewrite them as a ISO standard. And then you can recreate this file as a Bluebeam written PDF. And how do you do that? Kind of coming full circle. So if we hit exit from here, we go file and then create from file. That is going to rewrite your PDF as a Bluebeam written PDF. And that way you can save it as a new Bluebeam written PDF.
So I closed my file. I'll go create from file, and I'll go find that file on my desktop, and we'll rewrite it, right? So it's going to open up that file. It's going to overwrite it if it lets it.
It will, yeah.
So now it's running the new PostScript. It's running through the Bluebeam Brewery. It's doing all its things. So one thing we didn't do, take note of the old file size. It was like 5.98, somewhere in there. I don't think this is going to be any smaller, but
yeah, because there's already written one. Oh, it's a brewery is the newest one.
So 5.0. So it didn't change PDF producer. It did go down in size a little bit because I thought it was 9.7. Maybe we'll have to, maybe I'm just dyslexic, but yeah. So I know this is latest and greatest. This is using the latest Bluebeam Brewery PostScript thing that's going on there. PDF version changed to 1.4 from 1.7. I mean, let's go back and look at the original. How about we cheat that way? Oh, look at that. So 5.0, it is, yeah, 5.98 megabytes in PDF version 1.7 versus 1.4. And so it shaved a little bit of size off. I mean, pretty negligible, but it did change the PDF version. Why is it going to a lower number? That's really odd. But
I don't know what the PDF version means, so I can Google that while you do your thing.
Yeah. So I did do a save as, and I did compare that to the master. Does it make sense to keep an original and save this as a reprint? Probably. If I wasn't using a dummy data set, then I probably would have done that. If you're trying to figure out something while you're, the day your plans are due, by all means, don't overwrite. Let's see what we got here. My thumbnails still, see, I can beat it a little bit. I mean, I'm also on world's fastest laptop, so that doesn't help at all. I could undo a bunch of times, but I haven't earned my undos yet, David. So yeah, here we go. So let's look. We looked at the document version, all right? So in document properties, we made sure that it was PDF Brewery, or Bluebeam Brewery. Sometimes you're going to see Adobe, you're going to see Microsoft, you're going to see all these other things, all the different PostScript drivers. There's a whole bunch of different things in here. You will get potentially, I shouldn't say you will get, you will most likely see performance issues if your PDF producer is not Bluebeam, even though they are following that ISO standard that Michael was talking about.
I can't find the version anywhere in the Google search, because anytime I put properties, it just says properties from Bluebeam. It's just great. So there's probably some kind of keyword that I'd have to go and look that I don't want to take up my time away from us talking here.
So before we get into some other performance enhancements, Doug, that is a beautiful question, Doug. So can you rewrite a PDF if they have markups on them? All right. So let's think about that. The main reason that people are using Bluebeam Review is because it is a markup software, right? If you're just using it as a viewer, you're kind of missing out. There's a lot of great things. Let's go find a file that has some markups on it. I know this one does because it's the same one you're going to see everywhere. So let's go take a look at this one. Document properties, PDF library 2018.
That's old.
Okay, let's further cheat the system with my friend Snagit here. We're going to grab that, stick that off
you
to
can
the
see
side.
where I am. See, I put my picture of us on the left-hand side. So that's why I'm always looking on the left. Because my camera's right up.
I tried to hide it there. All right. Where is this file? Don't know. Saving as desktop. Delete me. See, I've been working on this. All right. I'm going to close that guy. We are going to go here. Now, let's back up. Let me open that up again. Where's my delete me? There is a ton of markups on here. It is not flattened. There's all the things. This is all the demo data set that came from Bluebeam. It's not a very large file, but it does have a number of different markups on it. This is how we're going to test if it will recreate and keep the markups, right? This was created from Bluebeam PDF Library 2018. So it is an old file. You'll notice if you watch that Review 21 video on LinkedIn, you'll see the same thing.
It's from Thomas was the name, something Thomas.
They need to update their stuff here. But we'll go create from file. So we're recreating a Bluebeam file.
Someone's desktop is clean.
I'm trying to be better, Michael. I'm trying to be better. So we got that fresh new desktop logo with our new ATG logo that launched last week. So I was trying to, keep it shiny.
Mine is not.
All right. Here's a new version. Look at that. It made it to Bluebeam Brewery 5.0. It did take off 200 plus kilobytes. And all my markups are still there.
And it's 1024.
Ooh, my markups are not still there.
Organize it by something different.
I can't.
No.
Okay.
Can you go click on them?
That is a fantastic question, Doug, that let us down. Nope. Those are flattened.
However, let me backtrack. I would have probably, if there's a document issue, we could have deleted them before we flattened the document in its new set, right before we recreated it and then re-imported them. That's the idea. Okay. And now we know we need to do that.
Let's do that. Right. So look what happened. We tried to fix the problem and we took the wrong steps. And this is what's going to happen. And this is what we do on Morning Coffee Review. We try to recreate. Let me take it back. We accidentally recreate real world issues by testing things and going down the rabbit hole. All right. Failure is okay. It's how you learn. That's what we're doing here. So instead, if you have a PDF with markups, before you do that create from file process, before you do this, we need to go in and export our markups first. All right. So I will delete that one. I'm going to go back to my source and I'm going to do my save as. So desktop.
Delete me too.
Delete me would be 200. Yeah.
Yeah,
there we
that's
go.
fine too. I would just do a shift, all delete, and then go to that source file and just import them. Or you could do an export right now too.
I'm going to export them. I'm going to do this the proper way. So I'm going to come over here, go to my markups list, go to markups, and I'm going to export my markups. Note that this will not get your captures if you have any. So you have to export your markups first. Delete me. So it will give you that BAX file. So we'll save that. I'll export my captures. I don't know if I have any. I
Are
don't.
these saving on your desktop? Okay, there.
That's weird, but it didn't give me a file name. Oh, okay. So I don't have any captures in this file. Always good to check. I'm sure I have plenty of other versions of the same exact file that I did put captures in.
And what's the quickest way to delete your markups, Mr. Arley?
We can just do Control A. No.
It worked, right?
Control A as the Windows trick. Select all, hit delete.
Boom.
Now I have a clean file. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen this as a clean file. It's kind of weird. It'd be like if I shaved my beard off. Don't get your hopes up. That's not going to happen. So
it's like me if I shave my beard off.
Yeah.
Or my head.
Maybe we'll put a wig on you for San Diego. You might want it for sun protection. All right. Terry,
what's
that's
a capture?
We're going to
we'll show you.
That's what we like to do. Thanks for the question. All right. So let's go in, save this file, document properties, 3.97 KB. We're still on 18. Now I'm going to close it, create from file. We already backed up our markup, so it's okay to do so, right? We'll delete. We will save it as. There won't be markups on here. We'll go to our PDF document properties. Same file size, but it is now Bluebeam Brewery 5.0. And now we can go back to our markups list and import those markups that we had brought out, that BAX file.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be a BAX file. You can use a PDF, but I like to keep them separate. And now we are good to go. We see that asterisk by the file name, which means it needs to be saved, and we'll save it. And now we've recreated the file without losing any of our Bluebeam specific markups. It's the latest PDF driver. It is a couple, well, should be a little smaller in file size. 715. And we'll go from there. All right. So if we had captures, well, what's a capture? Ooh, there are a couple of different things, right? You'll notice you've got 360 photos, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't. For charity, would I shave my beard? Absolutely. And then I'd go on vacation for 2 weeks and let it grow back.
Yeah. So there's two ways to paste images onto a PDF. One would be the traditional, let's take up space, which I hate. Or you can attach a capture to a markup.
So if you have a capture, now this is going to be way more of a thing when we move to Bluebeam Cloud and Review 21, right?
What's Bluebeam Cloud? Check out the video.
Yeah. When we get to Bluebeam Cloud and you're going to be walking around the job site with your phone, even if it has an Apple logo on it, you're going to be able to go in here and add a capture and from your camera. Now, my camera is not going to work because I'm using it for my live stream. But if I had, my camera pointed at something else, it would capture that. Instead, I'm going to go from file and I'll just go to my collection of fun pictures here. Now, this capture does not relate to this markup, right?
At all.
Ideally, you'd put your capture to match the issue that you're calling out, or adding more detail.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, you're going to get this little logo. It doesn't zoom in, but you can tell it's circles within a circle. And if you double click on it, it's going to open up and show you that photo. So that capture is kind of a big deal, especially if we're doing a punch walkthrough, right? So punch walkthrough is usually you're about to, you did this big construction project and you're ready to hand over the keys. You're going to go through kind of like if you were renting an apartment, say, well, this paint's scratched and the sink is wrong. And you're going to go through and highlight all the issues so you get your deposit back, that type of thing, but on a much larger scale. And your captures don't take up that much real estate because it's only taking up that little area. Now I could take that same photo, again, hide my zoom controls and go in here and insert a file attachment like this to go to another PDF. Or I could go in here and attach an image from file, from camera, from scanner. So if I go take the same file, no, we have, I think with Mandalorian being in the off season, we need to bring back our Baby Yoda, our Grogu. So I could also insert an image here. Look at how much difference that is. And I could make that bigger or smaller, but that's not giving you the context. Now, this would be great if you had a photo of, I don't know, something meaningful, right?
I know. I still feel like it's taking up space on my set, and covering up things that it shouldn't be. The attachment is really what I need because it's pertaining to the data. I guess if you're trying to show some type of image in an area of like an aerial maybe map of something, I don't know, like a topo, for instance, that could work, but not about it.
Yeah, vicinity map, you know, there's uses for inserting an image. This is embedded. This is not a link. So that is a link that will tie there. Now, there are other things that you can do to, you know, do things more with links, but that's next week's topic. So
yeah,
we're not gonna go there today.
Yeah, and both of those are embedded. They're not a link. The capture to the markups embedded with the PDF. You send it regardless. People are going to have it. Same thing with that one. Now, if you want to link to a file image, a JPEG, you can. And like Jason was saying, we could do that. Like even this PDF attachment is embedded with the PDF, so you can send it. Someone else can click it and open up this PDF, regardless of where it's stored, because it's stored with the PDF.
Right, but yet it does not show up in the thumbnails, so it's a little voodoo magic happening there. But yeah, we'll get more into links and all sorts of crazy stuff next week. But capturing is a great way to add photos and video to your stuff. We did an MCR from New Orleans back in February where why don't we not have a nickname for Beth? Oh my goodness. We had Beth go walk around with an iPad around the convention center and take photos and add videos to a PDF live on studio sessions. So if you see the MCR goes to NOLA or something like that, or live from New Orleans on our YouTube playlist, check that one out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mr. Arley was stuck in an airport that whole day.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Anybody else lose sound?
No.
David can't hear us.
I'm good.
Okay.
Beth said, use this on a project of plant types to keep the look, but add the info. That's what I like, because again, right, I like the ability to see a clean set, organize it, and then have that data still live with it.
Or
great minds think alike.
Or did she just did she find the route to your heart with plants?
Well, that too.
Plants? Oh, plants? What?
I ignored that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But like,
because when you go plants, I'm assuming like a landscape plant design versus in a room plants, which are my favorite. I do have really good outside plants, which someone may see pretty soon. But
we could put plants. Okay, let's say this was a plant, or you know, a light or some sort of fixture, right? Where it's a symbol. I could go in, create that capture, and go find a picture of that actual plant. Right? That would be pretty cool. To give more context of what that thing actually is. So,
yeah, just like this pink princess plant I just bought the other day.
I don't know what that is.
Princess philodendron. You should Google it.
I can't even say philodendron. But yeah, that would be a neat use of that. So, Beth, thanks for that a little tidbit. Maybe we'll play with that sometime because we don't do enough with landscape and plants here, even though that is a subject that's near and dear to Michael's heart. I'm getting there.
Maybe I
Haven't
create.
killed it yet. Haven't killed it yet.
Maybe I create a landscape hardscape of my house, a floor plan, and then take pictures of plants. Side project. I will do this.
All right. Back on track. I'm gonna.
Because how cool would it be for you all to watch me here from the studio session as I'm walking my backyard, as you're talking, I leave and start taking photos.
Okay, that would be pretty cool. Should we wait? Oh, if you got a nice day like today, we don't have to worry about you melting outside and having to send for a medic or anything.
I mean, we could just do it now and I can walk out real quick and throw a photo out there of a ficus.
We'll save that for another day.
Okay.
We want to, let's get your
document management. Sorry.
Yeah, let's get your stuff figured out, your floor plan and house and stuff all in a PDF first. That'd be fun.
Okay.
All right. Let's go back to delete me to my large file.
We covered recreating the file, but what are some other options that we have?
Right.
Other options would be the ability to go through and run a repair, and then we'll do reduce file size. But
before we'll do these to these two.
Do you want to do the rendering? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. We're going to go over here. So again, if you're experiencing slowness, one of the things that you can do is make sure you're on review 20.2.70 or the latest version, right? If you're on 18 or below and it's slow, that's your fault. Not your fault, but somebody didn't.
It's pretty cold.
Active maintenance, and you really should.
Yeah.
That's like buying a new car and never doing an oil change or putting gas in it.
Whoa.
Like eventually, it's not going to work right if you don't take care of things.
You mean you can't not change your oil?
Bad things happen. As a car guy who's done a few engine rebuilds in my day, I not because I broke them, only one of them, but yeah, you need to certainly take care of your stuff.
So wait, you're saying I have to, if I buy a car, I still have to pay some type of annual cost to maintain the car?
Yeah.
No way.
You have to put gas in it. You have to keep the oil change. You got to change the tires every once in a while. You got to pay registration. You got to pay insurance. There's a lot of things. And I get it. I totally get it. I love buying one thing and paying once and not having to pay more to use it. But I'm not paying more to use it. I'm paying more to keep it up to date, right? So keep your car. You buy a brand new car, it comes with a full tank of gas. That gas runs out. Guess what? You have to put more in it.
And right now, it's almost cheaper. Well, gas is going down, so I take that back. But it will be when we go to California, cheaper than a tank of gas for most folks with a large truck or something.
Yeah, I'm still in the over $100 range to fill up my tank, so it hurts a little bit. All right. So besides looking at reducing file size and some of the other tricks we're going to do, if you're not on, or if you are on review 20.2 or one of the newer versions, the next place you might want to go is into your preferences. If you did an update and you didn't back things up, these can revert to default if you've ever changed them. So I'll back up. Review, preferences, and then here we've got these and these. It's kind of hard to columns and rows. I need to give these different names, but if we go to advanced, on the top here, you're going to have a rendering engine, and you have your option between hardware, software, and legacy, GDI. What does GDI stand for? Anybody know? Google dumb idiot.
No. I want to say it's graphics something. I'll look it up.
Graphics driver interface, something like that. You have your choice here. I have mine set on hardware because I have a RTX 2070 in here. It shouldn't have any issues. Rendering mode, iterative draw or wait for completion. Always iterative draw. And then I think default is software, isn't it? Where it's pushing the software to do it.
I don't know what default is.
Anybody else following along at home? Is anybody's not set to hardware? Should ask that. But this is something that you can also have an effect on your speed. If you have 3D rendering, 3D PDFs, anything like that, that rendering issue or things can be messed with here. I've never messed with these, honestly. 2D, I throw it on hardware and let her book.
Yeah, it doesn't even say it, what that stands for, the GD. But they're saying also, if you're having issues, update your Visual C++ redistribution and Microsoft.net. Yeah, I don't see what it is.
Oh, David's got a hot take here. Hint number 1, don't buy AMD graphics. Yeah. Depends on your daily software, especially if you're in the Autodesk realm. Some of that stuff gets a little picky.
Yeah, I'm not big on AMD. Some people are, though, in our industry, are building desktops with AMD processors in them. Sorry, graphics card in them. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of AMD graphics cards, but that's up to other folks to decide and what they want to use. If you've encountered an issue, David, of why they're not, mine's a preference, that'd be great, so that you can help my lobby in case of why you wouldn't use AMD. But
there actually are good cases. It's not like a Coke versus Pepsi, Ford versus Chevy type of thing where they'll all get the job done. And a lot of AMD stuff is good, but again, look at your everyday software. If you're dealing with Revit or Civil 3D or Inventor or SolidWorks or some of those heavy graphics programs, use what the software maker recommends.
Well, yeah, they recommend a minimum spec, though. I would do more, right?
Or speaking for Autodesk, they have like a recommended graphics card list.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Just because those are always like, yeah, 8 gigabytes of RAM will do you great, or it will be okay enough for required of running Revit. But then you're over here spinning wheel of death, because I that's one of, let's say, like the bane of my existence of building desktops. And people go to those recs and they're like, it said this and it's still not working. And that's why you have conversations with people like myself, or it seems like David Clark knows really well as well. So, but going back full circle, just because we have 10 minutes left, the ability to go through and, which one was this one again that we were doing? Oh, yeah, changing the hard rendering. The next one from there would be, after you've done that, would be reduce file size or repair. I'd probably start with repair first, and you can then run this. The other one would be reduce file size, but I wouldn't touch the reduce file size. I would just skip reduce file size and go to sets. Why? Because your quality of your PDF is going to be reduced.
Boom, boom, boom. There, nailed it right there. This button is tempting, and this works great on a lot of things if you have your settings just right. But if you need to make sure that there is absolutely no degradation of your graphics or line work or anything else, go to sets instead of this button, right? So again, I'll run this on here. This is what we do here. Let's play with this. We're at 5,900 KB. I'm going to crank this. So you get a slider, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different levels of your quality. Significant reduction of image quality. Text and images may be difficult to read. Right? I think by default it's in the middle, the recommended balance.
I'm surprised it's not showing you a pre-file size estimated. So I'm assuming this isn't going to be a large compress. But
yeah, usually it does show me that has some weird. Oh, I got to analyze it first. There we go. It's going to give me a 3% reduction. That's weak. Let's see what it actually does. Okay.
the issue with this, especially for those folks that aren't controlling their PDFs and you get a raster PDF, that is going to be a huge noticeable difference in the quality of the PDF. Whereas this is a vector written PDF, you're not going to notice a difference.
Do you want to overwrite? No. Desktop. Large file reduced. So it said it was going to get us a 3% reduction. Let's see what actually comes out here, because it usually gives us the summary at the end. Like I said, we don't recommend using this. That's pretty weak. This file set isn't that large.
It's not even 1%.
That's really not worth it. But
yes, I don't think it's going to do anything. Typically when you see a large reduction, you're going to see that issue, but really you will see the issues if it's a raster PDF. And if you don't know the difference between raster and vector and you're listening in, raster typically is from a scanned document. It's seen as a complete image and you get pixelization, which are dots per inch, versus vector enriched data, which is what we see here. You can print out from your design software raster. Revit does default to a raster when it's printing out shadows. So just be aware of that. But you do have to change the setting intentionally when you're going through and printing out your design set to go to raster. But that's why I wouldn't go through and do this. But I know some folks don't want to create sets, which is fine. If you don't, then just, you have to deal with what you get.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go through and create sets. And we did sets last time, or I did it in a training, I think.
Seems like we did sets not too long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've got a larger file set, plan set, you can use sets over here, not layers. Sets over here. Similar button to me. And organize them. Put your landscape plans, your architectural plans, your civil plans, your electrical plans. Compile them in a set instead of all one PDF, and your life will be easier.
And you can even send it out as a combined set once you're done. So I was training when I was doing this because I was confusing myself. Because saying you can send it out as a combined set, but sets is proprietary to Bluebeam. So sets is a feature in Bluebeam. A set of documents is different, right? So I'm trying to clarify my terminology of both. You can print out from sets, which is combining individual documents into a single source visually, into a combined document submittal set to send to somebody. So they're all together. So you can say, 10 pages, 10 pages, 10 pages, 10 pages are their own document. And you can visually scroll through them all together as if they were all combined by all 40 documents, a 40-page set. Then you can send that out. And we've done an MCR on sets. So if you want to go and look at our older MCRs, by all means, you can. We would go into it as always, if we go off on tangent, pick something, but we have 5 minutes. So
yeah, we'll queue that up, and we're probably due for a refresh on that episode, honestly. So maybe it's not on our list for by golly, this is our last one for July. It's not on the list for August, but maybe we'll sneak it in September. And as always, while we can't come up with the topics without a little bit of help. So if you've got an idea, or if you've got something that you want us to cover, even if we've covered it before, what usually happens, and those who have joined us for numerous sessions have seen, every time we cover the same thing, we uncover something different, right? We either have input from the community of, hey, try this, or hey, I experienced this, or in our week between MCRs, we were helping out on support cases and we found some other weird bug or some other weird instance, or we discovered a new workflow from training or coming through things. So just because you've seen one version of a topic that we've done doesn't mean it's going to be identical the next time. And as you've heard today, we love going down rabbit holes and exploring other things. And that's what makes this kind of fun for me, at least.
Yep. And we do plan things, but we don't plan exact word for word what we're going to talk about. So That being said, you're never going to get the same cup of tea twice.
Exactly. This morning, Michael and I, we jump on. What are we going to talk about today? Document health. That's it. We said 2 words. That was all of our prep for today. So we keep it kind of loose. So by all means, if you've got ideas, or as we've had Patrick help us out before, if you've got a cool workflow or something that you want to share, let us know. We will queue you up and make time for you. You can share your screen and walk through something. Because again, this is all about the community, and the community is all of you knowing and utilizing Bluebeam software every day, right? Let's get more out of it. Let's be less frustrated with whatever software we're dealing with, and enjoy life better.
Yeah, this show is as much as your show as it is our show. So we would love to see more folks on here. Check out our forum page. So if you have questions throughout the week, instead of waiting to see us here on Tuesday, post them in there. Any workflow related questions. If you want to just say hi, Jason and I check that frequently. It's kind of an addiction. So we will be there whenever you need us, even on the weekends. So feel free to chat us up there, chat each other up there, say hi. And as I start creating more quick tip videos, I'll post them there and on my own LinkedIn page. So you'll see a bunch of stuff coming through there and announcements and things like that for the MCR. But as always, thank you for joining us today. We have a survey at the end. So if you do have any questions or any things you want to bring up as topic wise, put them in there. If not, catch us on the MCR LinkedIn page. Also rate us. If you're going to rate us in there and you put anything below a 5, you're going to get an email from me asking why. If you didn't put why in why we aren't the best here, like maybe Michael doesn't have enough plants or something, who knows, right? Just let us know. We do want to know and how we can be better as hosts in bringing the community together. Anything else, Mr. Arley?
Next week will be special. I'll leave it at that. So our topic is going to be links and page labels and bookmarks, and we'll do some stuff around that. But there's going to be something else special that'll be fun for me at least. So there's that. So tune in next week as well. DJ CJ, any questions over on YouTube land? We are all good. All right. So Sandy, I see your comment for going over sets. I will add that to the list. You can always check out the MCR LinkedIn page where I'll type in what we're going to do for next week. Or
I'll also post a link in there too for the old sets that we had if you can't wait, Sandy.
Yeah. And also I forgot what I was going to say.
I know, because I really interrupted as always, so you can yell at me later.
Yeah, my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
It's all good. We'll figure it out next week. So Thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.